doesn't love gyros? Now, gyros is one of my favourite meals because it's so versatile and you can throw any veggies into it. I know you're probably thinking chicken, pork, lamb, beef, but today we're doing a vegetarian version. And I'm going to use tofu. And I know Richo's not here, so I'm not going to cop anything from anybody. But tofu is a really versatile protein that can pick up a lot of flavour. And I promise you, this is going to be absolutely delicious. Now, I've got a block of really firm tofu here, and the key to this is drying it out. So you can put this between two heavy plates with paper towel so it seeps the fluid out, or you can put it in the microwave again between paper towel and it will help dry it out. But it's really important so you don't get soggy tofu. That is not going to make this gyros delicious. Now, I'm going to cut this into sticks. Tofu is so delicious. It is a very versatile protein. Now, there's a lot of people who would make a vegetarian gyros, either because they're trying to do the right thing for the planet, or people with heart disease are trying to reduce meat intake and eat more plant proteins. And so this is a really, really good alternative. Very chunky, but this is how I like it, so it's nice and full inside the gyros. Now, we're going to marinate this in some really classic Greek flavours. Of course, a big glug of fresh lemon juice, then some dried oregano, again, a really classic Greek flavour. I'm going to sprinkle quite a bit of this because I love oregano. Big glug of olive oil, and then I'm going to use some Murray River salt flakes because we want this to be nice and salty and complement the lemon juice, and some pepper as well. If you have time, you could let this marinate overnight for a couple of hours, whatever you desire, but I'll tell you something, it works as a really quick, easy midweek meal with minimal marinating. I'm just going to combine that in the bowl so all these flavours, look at that. Lots of oregano. It smells amazing in the bowl. So simple but so delicious. And I'm just chucking it into my preheated pan because I've already got it in the olive oil. I'm not going to add any extra because we don't need it. But let's start cooking these off. Wonderful. And we're aiming for a slightly crispy version of tofu. So now we're on to making our glorious yogurt sauce. Again, extremely simple but so delicious. I've got some Greek yogurt here. So good for your bones, and a wonderful way to get veggies into kids is to get yogurt and then grate any veggie that you can think of into there. So I've got some cucumber here, and this has had the fluid really thoroughly squeezed out, which is really important. Otherwise, you're going to have a soggy dressing. If your kids like yogurt, this is such a good way to bump up the veggie intake. And I'm going to chuck some raw garlic in as well for a real flavour punch, and more lemon. So we've got lemon in the tofu marinade and lemon in the yogurt dressing. Now, the little secret ingredient here is a touch of dill. Now, this is something I have not yet grown in my garden, but I suspect I should. Look at that. Smells so good. So good. So far, very easy. Let's check on the tofu. Okay, so these have got a little bit of colour on them. You can see that golden colour. So I'm going to let the other side get a little bit of colour too. And we're going to add more rainbows to our gyros. So I've got a lettuce and some tomatoes. Now, I think that lettuce and tomato is the integral component to any gyros. I've never seen a gyros without it. And it adds a beautiful flavour crunch. But if you think about this meal, there are so many veggies in here. You're getting a huge veggie hit by making one of these, and your kids can eat them too. So let's chop these up. Lots of colours here, green, red, good for our gut health. We've got the cucumber in here. And here's my little secret weapon for a gyros that I learnt when I was in Greece, olives. So they add a little bit of extra saltiness. Wonderful. Now that tofu is done, I can smell the oregano. It smells fantastic, and we are ready to put this together. Little secret is a little bit of foil at the bottom to just hold it together so we don't lose the integrity of the structure. It's a very technical term I've decided to use there. And I like to put my rainbows on first, so a little bit of lettuce, and the key here is a little bit of restraint. So you don't want to overfill this so that you can't eat it. And with children, I suggest if they're really little, do a deconstructed version. So I've got lettuce, tomato, and I love the olives, and my kids love them too. You can use them whole if you like. Look at all the colours. So the minute you start seeing this many colours, you know it's good for gut health. Let's add some yogurt dressing. So you are getting a really big veggie serve in all of this. And then we add our tofu, our protein. Gonna choose oh, look at this. Look at the flavours on that, my goodness. The oregano, the lemon. This is the time you start salivating as you construct it. Pop them on, and then we're just gonna roll it up gently. And I use the foil to just hold it together slightly. And that goes on the plate. And here we go, a vegetarian version of gyros. The tofu here is a wonderful alternative, and if you're going to use it, don't be scared. Make sure it's nice and dry and flavour it because it will really pick up the flavours. But I think this one is definitely worth a go at home.